It's time for another beer, rum, and rock rock shot. This time, Jon Garner and I are celebrating the 40th anniversary of AC/DC's 9th studio album, Flick of the Switch. Released on August 15th, 1983, it was deemed a commercial disappointment. However, it would still go platinum in the US, selling over 1 million copies. In an attempt to give them a more raw sound, the album was the first one to be produced by the band themselves and engineered by Tony Platt, who had worked with the likes of Cheap Trick, Iron Maiden, and Motorhead. The band consisted of Brian Johnson, lead vocals, Angus Young, lead guitar, Malcolm Young, rhythm guitar and backing vocals, Cliff Williams, bass guitar and backing vocals, and Phil Rudd on drums. All right, Jon Garner, are you ready to talk some Akadaka?
What? We get to do that again? Awesome!
Right? Hey, cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers to that. What are you drinking tonight?
Well, I have a cocktail going on. I got, basically I got tequila, Sprite, and something else, but I don't know if you can see this. This is my running motto. Yeah, nope, not today. Fuck you. It's a bucket load, dude, so I'm going to be fucking gooned by the end of this thing.
I see you didn't have any large glasses in the cupboard. Went for that tiny one.
This is a standard. This is my tall.
I ran out of beer, so I'm dipping into Andrea's stash. I'm drinking a Tempo Gin Smash tonight.
I would not have gone public with that, but, God bless you, sister.
Oh, I'm man enough to admit it. Hey, love the shirt. It's baseball. Hey? It's a long sleever. I like it.
Yeah, I've got the I got the baseball jersey. Okay, so I did buy this from Amazon for this show. And the only reason I'm saying is that I swear to God, I had the original when they first came out. A, obviously I've lost it, and B, there's no fucking way it was going to fit me now.
Right, yeah.
But I tell you what, I love the album cover. I love the artwork of it. I mean, it's about as simple as you can get, AC/DC, but it's awesome. I love it.
Right on. Yeah, I don't like to duplicate T-shirts on the show if I can. I've got a lot of them. And I ran out of AC/DC ones, so I went with the cap. I went with the AC/DC cap. That's the best I could do.
I'm a little gutted, I think.
Hey, before we start talking about this album, I like my fun facts. I want to blast through a couple before we get to talking about the album and our favorite 3 tracks. So,
okay.
My first one is the boys returned to Compass Point Studios in the Bahamas to record this one. The same place they recorded Back in Black with Mr. Mutt Lange. So that's kind of cool.
Yep.
Right? And speaking of Mr. Mutt Lange, they gassed him. He did their previous 3 albums, but they decided to make a change. It's their first self-produced album. So my quote from Mr. Angus Young is this: "We wanted this one as raw as possible. We wanted a natural but big sound for the guitars. We didn't want echoes and reverb going everywhere, and noise eliminators and noise extractors. They wanted to strip down the sound, and Mutt is not the man for that gig." 80 guitar tracks and 50 layers of vocals, that's Mutt. So they gassed him. Yeah, they wanted to produce it themselves, and that was that.
And with all that being said, I think certainly for this record, job done.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
It's pretty tight.
I agree. And my last fun fact, not only is it the 3rd AC/DC album featuring Mr. Brian Johnson on lead vocals, it is the last album to feature drummer Phil Rudd until Ballbreaker in 95. So that's a huge, huge change, right? So what happened there was, you know this, but maybe not everybody does. He was butting heads with Malcolm, which is never a good idea.
You butt heads with Malcolm, you're out.
And that's what happened. So he was having some issues with the drugs and the booze. So they fired him midway through the album's recording sessions, but he did complete his drum part. So he is the drummer on the album.
Right.
And that was it. So what they did was they needed a drummer for the tour, obviously. So they held auditions. 700 auditions in the US and the UK. Simon Wright gets it. He's 20 years old and he gets to drum for AC/DC. How nuts is that?
Isn't that nuts? Yeah. They can be pretty attritional with shit. So the fact that they then kept Simon Wright on for the next album, Fly on the Wall, was something. He's a great drummer. For sure.
He did a great job, man.
Yeah.
It's cool, though. Like, it's just funny to think that AC/DC puts this ad in Sounds magazine or newspaper and said, rock drummer wanted, if you don't hit hard, don't apply. That's what it said.
That's awesome.
Right? So
it's so good.
Apparently he played 3 songs, and 2 hours later they called him and said they had the gig. That's how quick these guys made up their mind. Eh? They don't fuck around. And like you said, he's on their next 3 albums, Fly on the Wall, Who Made Who, and Blow Up Your Video. And then he left in '89 to join Dio. And the other little tidbit on that, they did 3 videos for this album, and he's in the videos, not Mr. Rudd. So that's the other little tidbit. I mean, if you're getting kicked at AC/DC for drinking too much and Malcolm Young is in the band, you're drinking a lot. Like, that guy's not a teetotaler.
I'd be considered sober and probably have to pick up my game.
Exactly. Okay, Jon Garner, my usual question. Tell me what you remember about this album release going way back to 1983. What are your memories, dude?
Well, I have it for one thing. My original, it's got the... I'm assuming these are tea stains from my teacup on the side.
Well, see, you're a normal person, John, so yours is damaged and stuff. Mine looks like I literally bought it yesterday because I'm a freak. There's not a fucking mark on this thing.
In fairness, dude, this is on its, what would it be? I guess technically probably 2nd or 3rd continent and 4th country by now. So it's done some miles. My memories of it was that I heard the release date probably through Sounds, as you mentioned before, or even Kerrang. Couldn't wait to get it. Ripped it home and put it on, and straight away I'm like, fucking A, this is good. This is good.
This sounds like AC/DC.
This sounds like AC/DC. What's not to like about this? And I'll go on record here, Randy. You know how I feel about the album Power Age. I think it's AC/DC's most overlooked record. This would be the 2nd most overlooked record, I think, in their catalog. I think it is fucking soup to nuts. If they're not going to, let's be clear, but even if a cover band decided that they were going to do a set of just flick of the switch, sign me up, take my money now, I'm in.
I agree with you 100%. It's an underrated, overlooked album, 100%. Yeah, I agree, man. You know what? You mentioned this earlier, but in hindsight, I disagree with you. Like, I remember seeing it in the record store thinking, that is one boring-ass album cover. They've got album covers with guitars going through Angus, and this is a pencil sketch? I'm like, what? They could have done something really cool here.
Hey, people. Randy's wrong.
Welcome to Randy's Wrong again.
Welcome to Randy's Wrong. It's fucking embossed. And it's so simple.
It's embossed.
It's embossed.
How do they do that?
How do they even do that? It's fucking awesome.
Well, and having said that, though, I hadn't heard a note of this thing, and I'm buying it. They're a band on that list.
I'm not waiting to hear what's playing on Radio 1. It's not playing on Radio 1. So who gives a shit? I'm buying it anyway.
Exactly. At that point, I was so into them. Yeah. There's no way I'm not buying it. And you know me, man, music videos around that time, I'm seeing those 3 videos in rotation, and I just loved that stripped down vibe of these videos. So for those of you who haven't seen them, they're in like this warehouse looking space. It's a airplane hangar actually. And they're just sweating it out, playing live and kicking ass. Like Angus is in a t-shirt and shorts, of course, and he's sweating. It's just the band performing, no crowd, but there's a real power to it.
Yeah.
There really is.
Well, and I think to your point, Randy, the fact that it's not a sort of pretend stage show, which we sort of got used to, it was really cool.
It really suited them, I thought.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? And my last thought on it, even back then, you could kind of tell it was a bit of a dip for the band in terms of reviews and popularity and stuff, but I didn't give a fuck. I mean, how do you follow the Back in Black and For Those About to Rock? I mean, it's bound to come down a notch or two, but I dug it regardless.
It's a great record, and I saw something on, I think it was Twitter or whatever it's called now, a band's best 3 run of records, right? And I don't know how you go against Power Age, Highway to Hell, and Back in Black. Unbelievable. But I tell you what, Back in Black, For Those About to Rock, and Flick of the Switch, it's pretty fucking good.
I hate to rub it in, but I know somebody really well that had no Back in Black songs in their AC/DC top 10 list. Zing!
You're missing the point again. I know this is your show, but come on, man. Go for the ride with me.
I have to go a long way to burn you. It's around like this and then this way. And it usually makes no sense.
We call it the Cook's Tour.
Exactly. Okay, man, let's talk about our top 3 tracks. Before we do that, I just want to say all tracks are written by Angus and Malcolm Young and Brian Johnson, who does the lyrics. So a little FYI on that. Brian wrote all the lyrics up to and not including Razor's Edge. That's when Angus and Malcolm took over. And just a heads up, you will not be hearing any music clips on this rock shot. Why? Because AC/DC are YouTube blockers, the pricks. So along with Prince and the Eagles and the Beatles, it's so fucking lame. Like, there's no money changing hands here, people. We just want to celebrate the band, but they don't see it that way, so we'll have to sing instead, John. You and I are going to sing.
We're not getting paid for this?
I was told I was getting paid. The check's in the mail. Oh, dude.
All right, how are we going to do this, Doodle?
Hey, as usual, you go first or I go first? Up to you.
You go first.
All right, man. My first pick, and as usual, they're just in the order that they're on the album, is the title track, released as a single. Flick of the Switch is my first pick. So, let me try to describe Flick of the Switch for you people without playing it. Because I can't play it. I'm going to play all the instruments. Are you ready? It starts with that hi-hat count in, right? And then another amazing riff starts. Just the riff, and then that AC/DC groove takes over. Phil and Cliff laying it down like they always do. Brian singing his fucking bag off as usual. He was killing it at this time. He was just killing it. Love the gang chorus. Flick of the Switch. Solo from Angus. I mean, always good. It's what you expect for them, and you love them for it. At least I do. This, though, should have been the opening track on the album. I have nothing against Rising Power, but Flick of the Switch, title track, should have been the first track on the album. That's what I think.
For sure.
And lyrically, we have to touch on Mr. Johnson's lyrics. Sexual innuendo, as usual. What we expect, but this one is out there, man. Let me give you a little bit. Well, there's a love gone down on mine. Suicidal voltage line. She sends signals out of distress, she devil, she evil. She got me reeling on a rockin' machine. With a flick of the switch, she'll blow you sky high. With a flick of the switch, she can satisfy. That's cool and really odd. Like, it's an odd phrasing and stuff, right? Like I said, I love the video. Just the band knocking it out. And I've got a Malcolm Young quote on the simple approach they took to these videos. It's pretty fucking funny. You ready? We basically told the film crew, we'll be playing. You film. Walk around the band. Do whatever the fuck you want. We just want it done today. That's all. That was his instructions. In and out. If there's one thing I hate about these videos, John, there's one thing I can't stand, and it's Cliff William playing one of those lame-ass Steinberger basses. Oh, my God. They're a fucking abomination. Geddy Lee played one. Bill Wyman played one. Sting played one. Eddie Van Halen played a guitar version. Mark Knopfler played one. They're that tiny, no headstock. They are about as uncool as a guitar gets. I never saw the appeal at all. Hate that. Other than that, love it.
Yeah, Cliff, just stick with your classic Music Man one, right?
He's a big dude with his little guitar. It looks stupid, man. But a great, great track, and it's my first pick. Flick of the Switch.
Well, we have surprised each other over the years of doing this show with how we differ. And you have basically stole my thunder because my first track is Flick of the Switch. And for many of the same reasons, it should have been the opening track. And again, you said it, no burn on Rising Power, even This House is on Fire. I really like both those songs. I actually think This House is on Fire, if they put a fucking slide on it like they did with Stormy Mayday on Black Ice. And fucking you laugh. You go back
you
and
and your
listen
slide.
to that. I know. But you go back and listen to that and go, ooh, that could do with a fucking slide.
That's an interesting thought.
I tell you, that would have been right up there. But man, Flick of the Switch, it's a great, great song. And for all the pieces that you just said, it's great.
Yeah, totally, dude. Yeah, I don't know who made that call, but it's a curious call to not have it as the opener. Okay, man, my number two. Also a single. I'm single boy. I went with Nervous Shakedown as my number two.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a little different. Yeah, I like it a lot though. Angus opens with that simple little riff all by himself, and then that fucking slow bluesy riff, and that groove comes in. Da 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 da. I mean, come on. It's simple but so effective. Like as much as I'm like you,
That's kind of like you though, right?
Simple yet effective. That's what my wife says.
It's the same three chords, but it works.
Yeah, it works. You know what you're getting. I'm in, I'm out. You know what you're getting. Now, I'm like you, man. I'm a sucker for the faster tracks, but I do like a slow AC/DC groove sometimes, and this fits that to a T, right? And the lyric, Brian's vocal going into that solo when he goes, Lord, they're going to get you this time. Throw away the key. And then Angus, boo, off he goes, right? He just starts ripping. It's killer. The guy just wails. Then he goes, lock him up. Like little accents like that
Yes.
are really cool. And I love the ending when he goes, it's a shakedown on you. And then he goes, yes. I mean, those little vocal touches.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Nervous Shakedown is my second pick. Yeah.
All right. So anybody that's been actually watching this show and paying attention should not be fucking surprised if you're going down through the album of what my next favorite song is on this, because it's fucking Landslide.
Yeah, it is.
It is the best song on the album. I'm coming in at number two just because it's chronological. This is AC/DC just ripping. I mean, it's Whole Lotta Rosie. It's Let There Be Rock. Pick whatever album you want, whichever is the fast track. This is it. Fucking Landslide. I want to hear you all out there.
Yeah.
Put your hand in your pocket, get your $10 out, and give it to me.
This is in your wheelhouse for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
This is my fucking wheelhouse, man. This is a rocker, and pun intended. Come on, man. I mean, they are just fucking flying. They're obviously having a whole lot of fucking fun on it. It's, in some ways to me, and I've done zero research on this, it just feels to me it's almost an homage to Johnny B. Good. The boy that's struggling, that's trying to find his way. It's just a rip-roaring track, and I can't get enough of it, man. I got it on regular repeat.
It's a fucking banger, as they say.
It's a banger.
You know what's funny to me? Brian Johnson being the one writing the lyrics at this point, he must be a glutton for punishment because he sings a lot of words on this one, man. Like, it's just go, 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 go. It's crazy, the amount of lyrics in this.
It's great. One of the many songs, if someone's like, hey, so what do I need to know about AC/DC? I could pull Landslide out. I mean, that's all you need to know. If that doesn't get your fucking feet tapping, you are dead.
Yeah, no, I didn't pick it because I knew you were going to. For the sake of variety, I threw something else in. I do love it too, yeah, of course. And to keep with my trend, man, for my number three, I went with the third single, Guns for Hire, with Landslide as the B-side on this one. Little trivia for you.
Can we just take a brief pause? This is my third one too.
Oh, is it really?
So all we have is Nervous Shakedown and Landslide as a flip. This is such a good fucking song, man.
I love the way this one starts, John. That stuttering guitar from the top. And then the drums. Blat, blat, blit, blat, bow. It's in. It's just, I get goosebumps, man. It's so good, dude. And on the video, they strobe Angus just to go with that, that stuttering guitar effect. It's really cool. Adds a little vibe. Just another killer AC/DC riff. There's great energy on this one. There's a ton of energy on it.
Yeah.
Love that catchy sing-along chorus, man. Guns for Hire. Shoot you with desire. It's great. Again, with the little vocal bits leading into that guitar solo when Brian goes, quick draw, on the floor, big shot. And then he goes off, right? And then he adds a little stick 'em up in there. Oh, it's so wicked, right?
They are having an absolute fucking hoot with this song, man. It's great.
You can feel it, man. And Angus, once again, showing he can construct a cool, moving, musical solo. This one's really strong. It's really strong, man. And I got to give you some lyrics, man. Hey, you know him, but I'm going to give him to you anyway. I'm a real entertainer, a mischief maker, a lover of no fixed abode. That's cool. A quick draw, on the floor, no law, give you more. Sweet talker, lover of sin. You are what you get what you want. Look out, woman, got guns for hire, shoot you with this arm. But here's the key one for me. This one puts me on the floor every time. I'm a smooth operator, a big dictator. Gonna mark you with my brand, dictator. Just kills me, right? And another badass AC/DC ending. They know how to end a track, man. When he goes, what you got? Big shot. And he goes, you can't get the drop on. And then Angus does that pick drag. Yo! On me. Girl. Oh, dude. They opened with this song on the tour, but they haven't played it much after that for whatever reason, right? But yeah, Guns for Hire, dude, is my third pick. Yeah.
They could bring almost any of the tracks off this album into a tour. They won't. But I tell you what, I wouldn't be upset if anything off a flick of the switch made another stage show.
Right. Okay, what's your honorable?
This House is on Fire. I think it's got a really good groove to it. You know, Bedlam in Belgium is kind of fun because it tells a story of an actual event that took place, which I always think is kind of fun. It's, you know, it's Smoke on the Water-ish.
Well, mine's Landslide, of course. I had to put it in there. Shit. I mean, it's a fucking ripper, man. And I mentioned the sheer amount of lyrics. Like when he goes, shaker, he's a breaker, he's a maker, he's a landslide. Like, what? It just rolls off the tongue, right? I'll say this. If I had to lift one, like if I had to pick my least favorite, it's Deep in the Hole. It's slow and trudgy, and the lyrics are, even for them, are a little, deep in the hole. I'm down in the hole. It's like, okay.
Yeah, okay, we get
let's
it.
Let's put a fine point on it.
Exactly.
Just hammer that in the ground. I think side one is definitely stronger than side two, to use an album analogy. I think it's underrated, like we said. I like the rawness of it. It holds up really well in hindsight. Here's my deal. It's the last of my favorite AC/DC albums. The rest of them, from this point on, are way spottier until Black Ice in 2008.
Okay, I'm glad you drew the line there.
Do you know what I mean? It got pretty spotty, right? I mean, this deep into your career, it's going to happen, but this is my last one where I was all in, wall to wall. When I say spotty, I'm always talking on the AC/DC curve. Like, none of their albums blow. Like, there's always great songs on all of them. It's just on the AC/DC curve, it starts to dip
on the
AC/DC
a little, curve, for sure. They dip with Fly, and then they pick back up with Razor's Edge. There's too many good songs on that for it to be a shitty album.
I think it's overrated, honestly. I do.
Yeah, but again.
Like Money Talks, I never have to hear ever.
Sure, but that's because you hear it all the time on the radio, but it's also got Thunderstruck and Fire Your Guns. Fire Your Guns is one of the greatest AC/DC songs of all fucking time.
That's two. And I like Shot of Love, all of that one. That's it. The rest of it is to me. Because it has Thunderstruck, it gets all this attention, but I think it's a bit overrated. If this one's underrated, I think Razor's Edge is overrated.
That is literally just you. You're the
I don't
only
think it
one.
is.
You're the only one. Even the fucking bear behind you doesn't agree. I mean, look on his face. He's like, "What are you fucking nuts?"
The bear has a name, and it's Ted.
Yeah, Ted's like. I mean, the look on Ted. He's like, "What are you fucking nuts there?"
If he could lift his middle finger, he would.
Exactly. Hey, at the end of the day, none of it's ball breaker. So you know what? We can.
You know what? I love that song. I love that song, Ball Breaker.
Really?
I do. Yeah.
How are we still friends? But you can tell me, cover you in oil? Like
let's see. Oh, hey, I'm not going to argue that one.
Anywho.
Anyway, we're not here to bash AC/DC. We're here to prop them up. And flicking the switch, people, revisit this album. It's worth a revisit.
Oh, my God, yes, please. If you haven't heard it, what are you fucking messing around with?
Before Bruce Fairbairn got a hold of him and fucking ruined everything.
I ruined it for everybody. Burn him at the stake, I say.
Any final thoughts? You got anything more?
You just said it, dude. It's like you haven't checked out Flick of the Switch. You will not be disappointed.
If you don't like this album on some level, you don't like the band. I'll go that far.
You shouldn't be on this show. We don't need to talk to you.
Let's not piss off the listeners, John. Okay, on that note, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining me, Mr. Garner. Before you say anything else to piss off our listeners, let's go. That was awesome, as usual, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate you taking the time to hang with us. You can find us on all the socials, wherever podcasts are broadcast. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let us know what you think of Flick of the Switch in the comments, man. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, on behalf of Jon Garner and myself, keep rock alive, kids. Peace.